Welcome to Off Grid Victory. So this chicken is doing something really weird. It's in our quote poo poo shed slash feed shed. This is where we actually store our feed for these guys, and it keeps it dry. And we just come out here to give them the feed. Come on out, come on out. All right. So what is this video about today? Well, it's about this right here, letting these guys out, right? Free ranging. So it's almost the end of the day and the sun's kind of going down. So you see a bunch of chickens out there kind of doing their thing, scratching, looking for grubs, looking for insects, specifically grasshoppers these days in the end of summer. And what they'll do is eventually come back into this general coop run area inside the coop, and of course into their nesting box and house. So we've constructed this house so that, you know, when we are not physically here on the premise once in a while, like the overhead protection we get from all the hawks that are around here, that's what that indoor run is for. And then the extra is when we just let them out normally. And so we've never had an incident where a hawk kind of dared to come this way, but who knows, right? So we have this fence perimeter too that we normally wouldn't use, but right now, because of the cost of this stuff right here again, the feed, we're considering using it again and letting them free range. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. So, why free range? There's definitely risk and rewards to that. And so we just talked about some of the risks, right? Like the hawks, the predators out there. The other thing we didn't talk about is once these guys get broody, they like to find a spot outside and start putting their eggs there, right? So, normally they would lay inside our chicken coop area, but if you let them go like this, sometimes they like to stash away eggs, and so you might lose some eggs and wonder where the heck is it, all going, and and whatever. So that's the other downside of free ranging. But there's so many other benefits that I want to talk to you about today about free ranging your chickens. Of course, the number one reason for me doing it these days is the cost of feed. I mean, we normally go through 6 or 8 cups of that feed that I just showed you in a day, and when we free range them like this, we maybe go through 3 at best. So more than a 50% reduction in the feed, and so 50% reduction or more in the cost of that. And so that's what you save by letting them free range. And of course, they scratch for bugs and all sorts of stuff, and it's beneficial for them, right? And so they're healthier, moving around, they're happier, and it saves us money. But that comes at a high risk of them potentially getting snapped away or whatever by one of these overhead predators that we have, the hawks and some owls at night. And so what we've trained these guys to do is to come in. You see one going in right now. As the sun sets, back into their run, and we'll close the door at the end of the day when the sun finally starts going down. All of these guys that are out here, they'll come back in. And so right now you see some chickens out here, but eventually all make themselves go in. And there were some chickens kind of in the forested area, but they're also starting to make their way back in as the light kind of wanes. And so, yeah, you can train your chickens to do that. It's beneficial for everyone. And the risk is if one of these hawks or owls come by and swoops one of them up, well, that's what it's going to be. But to the extent that you're working out here on the land with the chickens, there's definitely less likelihood. And if the chickens are as tame as ours, well, they'll normally stick close to you, right? Because they know where they know the hen that's going to feed them. So in that sense, they're not really going to stray that far away. But yeah, so go ahead and try free ranging your chickens, and before you do, make sure you kind of do that analysis of whether or not it's worth it to you, risk reward to do it. But then ultimately, I think you'll find a pleasant surprise if you train your chickens to go in and out of the coop in doing that method. Alrighty, shalom.